Creating a cost-effective feed plan for your catfish. Here are a few details that you can do that. The number one is your stocking capacity. That means how many fish you are raising. The second question is growth stage. Are you feeding them to melange, juveniles, to melange or table size? The number three question is preferred feed type. Are you using floating feed, semi-floating feed, or sinking feed? The number four question is your feed budget. Do you want a premium quality feed or a balanced, cost-effective mix? And the number five is, do you want a locally formulated feed recipe? What raw materials do you have access to? So those are the key 5 factors that can determine on the cost-effective feeding plan you may have for your fish. But on this video, I'll be going more details for you so that you can easily understand. And again, watching from the background is one of our mentorship program. So I'm using this for the video, a mentorship program on catfish hatchery and price management. So this, you can be watching from the background and listening to this very great topic today. For today, this guide I'll be talking about will help you to optimize feeding and reduce wastage and formulate a semi-floating feed. That means the 6mm type I talked about in my previous video. I told you 6mm size to 9mm size, basically 7mm size, those are the size that your fishes will eat more food. So you will need to lay more emphasis on this feed, this size of feed. This is important. That is where you can reduce cost or do any kind of stuff to your pond. So you need to know what we call your feeding plan based on the growth stage of your fishes. These are very, very important. That means from fingerlings to juveniles to post-juveniles to grow out or table size. So you need to know your feeding plan for them. Feeding plan, for example, is like at least from fingerlings, you will be looking at 0.8 to 0.1 size of fish, and their body weight should be around percentage of body weight should be around 8 to 10%, and the feeding frequency can be 3 times a day. For example, another one is from the juveniles. These are fishes from 10 grams to 50 grams, and their feed is around 2mm to 3mm, and their consumable body weight should be around 5 to 7%, and they can eat 2 times a day. And the post-juvenile weigh between 50 to 150 grams. Please, you can be taking note of this, be having a note of it. It is important. And their feed is 4mm. You can feed them, they can eat 4mm conveniently, and their feeding body weight should be around 3 to 5% of their body weight. That means the consumption should be between 3% of their body weight, and conveniently you can be feeding them 2 times a day. And the grow out stage is around 150 grams. The table size stage, that means the medium size, is around 150 grams to 600 grams, 800 grams. They can eat 6mm conveniently, and their feeding percentage is around 2 to 3% of feed. You feed them 1 time a day is okay. And the table size, which are the big size, they can start from 600 grams to 800 grams plus. That means depending on where you want to raise them to. If you want to raise them to 10 kilo, fine, good by you. And their feeding is around 6 to 9mm, as you all know, and their body consumption rate is 1 to 2%, and which they can communally feed for 1 times per day. And how do you reduce feed wastage? I told you about this in my previous video. I will just be rubbing up for you. How to reduce this is using a semi-floating or floating feed in a contained area, monitor feed response and maintain good water quality. So that is where you can reduce it. And today I'll be giving you a little breakdown of what we call our 6 semi-floating feed of maybe 35% crude protein. That means locally produced feed, right? So on this time, I will tell you to get a pen and paper and be writing this down, please. And I will be giving you 100 kg of feed, how to formulate a semi-floating feed, a good formulation of 35% crude protein for your fishes of 6 So make sure that you get a pen and paper and let's go. I'll be giving out, you'll be using the ingredients you'll be using. The first ingredient is a source for is your fish meal. Yeah, you can use a fish meal of 72%. If you can't get 72%, you can get our Morocco fish meal of 60 to 63%. That is very good. You can use that of like 20 kg. That means high quality protein source. And you can use what you call the soya. After that, you can get a soya. Soya is around 45% crude protein. You can add up with that of 25%, 25 kg is a plant source protein. And soya, as you know, it depends on the type of soya you want to use. Don't use fufa soya at this time. Make sure that you go for your soya beans at this great time. Don't use any kind of soya. Go for your soya beans. And we also have, you can use your cassava flour. Make sure that all these ingredients should be well pulverized. That means powderly grinded. With that, you can use 20 kilo. That is part of the energy source for this formulation. And again, we need a wheat brown. If you can't get a wheat brown, you can use what they call the rice brown. With this, you can add a 10 kg or 15 kg. That is the fiber source. That means the fiber source for digestion. So you can get that too as well. And you get the granite cake. That means the GNC. Make sure that you get the short GNC, not the thickish GNC. And you can get 12 kg of GNC. That means the animal protein source for fat and protein. And again, you can get what we call the bone meal. You can use 2 kg. That means for your calcium and phosphorus. And again, the blood meal, you know, the number of blood meal you need to use at this particular time has to be limited. You can use 3 kg. It's just for you to do what? To boost an extra protein for your fishes and make sure that you reduced the intake. It is very, very risky. So at this point, I'll be choosing for you to just 3 kilo. And your minerals and vitamin, use 1 kg for them. That means for their growth and immunity. So you can get a very good premix out there. There are a lot of good premix out there. Make sure that you check on the labeling. And salt, very, very important too as well. You can use a 500 grams of salt. That is to balance their body fluid. And again, we have what we call the binder. The binder, there are a lot of binding you can use. You can use the starch, you can use the gelatin, which is just to help the pellet to be bounded, just to help the pellet to be bounded. You can use 1.5 kg of that to run that. So on this totality of my formulation, I'll be having an 100 kg of feed, which I know will be very, very cheap. So by the time you can estimate this formulation, you'll be noticing that you'll be having at least from a ranges of 60, 70, 80,000 naira. That is a very good range. And this formulation conversion ratio is 1.2. That means 1.2 kg of feed will give you 1 kg of feed. So if you can't get the formulation right, make sure that you stroll up and go get the formulation right. I think I'll be taking this video to chapter 2 because of my time. So let me just quickly run out this for you. That means the daily feed requirement for cost estimate for just 1,000 pieces and 10,000 pieces of fish. The first month you are going to use 12 to 200 kg of feed per month, and the third to fourth month you are going to use from 300 to 400 kg per month, and the 5 to 6 month you are going to use 500 to 600 kg of feed for them. So the total feed for 6 months will runs to 1.5 to 2 tons of feed, and the cost, you can communicate your cost depend on your location. So tips to maximize profit, that means grow fish to marketable size. That is where you can maximize your profit. Bigger fish sells at higher prices. Sell during high demand period. Avoid market glut. Consider value added. Smoke dry, filleting and co gives you increase your profit by 50% to 100%. Monitor feed conversion ratio. Aim for 1.2 or lower to reduce your cost. So at this point, if you have not subscribed to my channel, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Make sure that you like and share, and make sure that you refer people to this great page, because we'll be talking more, and details information will be coming out from this page. And if you have not gotten my books on the calculation of the feeding chart, make sure that you ordered for it. And you have not gotten my books on the FCR, that means feeding 1 to 1, feeding 1 kg of feed to using 1 kg of feed to feed 1 kg of feed. I think this is highly important. And again, the feed formulation books is also there as well. So I'll put a link on down there on my video. Make sure that you go to that link. If you are not in Nigeria, if you are outside Nigeria, you can get all my books on seller. You can get them on seller, and make sure that you get your online download, pay and get your online download. So at this point, I'll be saying bye bye. My name once again is Timotora Sabi on DTM, your great anchor on this channel. Thank you and God bless you all.